Alright, so welcome back. Now we are going to look at constructors. Alright, let's focus on constructors in this lesson. Okay, so that's constructors. A constructor is a special function of the class that is responsible for initializing the variables of the class. Alright, so that defines a constructor with the same name as that of the class. A constructor that is a function and hence a constructor is a function and hence can be parameterized. Right, remember when we talked about function parameters? Okay, so you're simply saying that a constructor is a function and hence it can have parameters. Right, so however, unlike a function, constructors cannot have a return type. If you don't declare a constructor, a default no argument constructor is provided for you. I said this in the last class. Alright, I even showed you what this means. Alright, so this is the basic syntax for a constructor, which is actually what we have here. Alright, there's no difference, it's just this. Okay, so the following examples shows how to use constructors in that. Alright, so here we have something new. We have a class car, alright, with a constructor, a constructor that is defined for this class within the class. Okay, so inside this this constructor has a parameter, as we can see. It is parameterized. Okay, we talked about parameterized constructors, right? We mentioned that a constructor can be parameterized. So this particular constructor is parameterized. It has a parameter string engine. Okay, so we will have to provide the engine of the car whenever we instantiate the class. Okay, so now note that this static access is actually done without calling the constructor. All right, we don't call the constructor here, we just access our values directly. Okay, we just access our properties and methods directly. Okay, but if I had this and then I had this string engine, all right, let me name this something different from this, car engine. Okay, and I say constructor of a car engine car. All right, so what it means is that I'll have to provide an argument here. Okay, so v16, so that whenever this class is instantiated, this method, this constructor is executed. Okay, and this will be printed. All right, so right now I'm going to have constructor of a v16 car. All right, constructor of a v16 car. So this is being printed because I am instantiating this class here, thereby calling this constructor. Okay, so that is what is going on. That is what this explanation is. Now let's go over to named constructors. that provides named constructors to enable a class define multiple constructors. Okay, let's see what this means. The syntax of named constructors is given below. All right. Okay, we are now going to look at this. Okay, it's simply saying that this is simply saying that a class can have more than one constructor, like we see here. All right. But there's no need, from my experience in development, in programming, I've not seen, there's not been any need. The need to have multiple constructors hasn't arisen yet. Like, I've not had a need to create multiple constructors in a class, or to have multiple constructors in a class. All right, but let's just look at this. That provide named constructors to enable a class define multiple constructors. The syntax of named constructors is given below. Okay, so you can have a normal constructor and you can have another constructor, named constructor, like this. Okay, so it just means that I can have this car dot okay, it just means I can have this an extra constructor, and whatever I want to do with this I can do, like instantiate it and do whatever I want to do. But like I said, I've not had need for that. Right, so we are going to skip that. You can look at that during your spare time. All right, so the this keyword, we have looked at a few keywords so far. All right, and this is another one that we are going to look at right now, the this keyword. All right, so it says the this keyword refers to the current instance of the class. The current instance of the class. All right, here the parameter name and the name of the class field are the same. Hence, to avoid ambiguity, the class field is prefixed with the this keyword. All right, so let's see this example and try and understand what they mean. Okay, now there's a string engine, and there is also an engine parameter that is being passed, that is being given to the constructor. All right, so what it's basically saying is that the difference between this, the engine, which is a property of the class, and this engine, which was given as a parameter to the constructor, is the this keyword. All right, that's why it says the this keyword refers to the current instance of the class. Okay, it refers to the current instance of the class, the current instance of this class. All right, so assuming I had earlier on, before I changed the name of this parameter to car engine, all right, I just had engine. So how do we know the difference between this engine and this engine? Okay, how do you know the difference? It's simple. It's the this keyword. All right, let's see what the static getter engine can't be accessed through an instance. Okay, let's see if this will work. No. All right, so engine. So apparently I cannot access this here because this is static. All right, in order to be able to access it there, I'll have to make it non-static. All right, I have to make it non-static, which means I can no longer access it directly here. All right, I will have to use this object, my Toyota, to access it. All right, so the difference between this and this, like difference between this particular property and this parameter, is actually the this keyword. This refers to an instance of this very class, of this particular class. All right, so it refers to the current instance. All right, the current instance. Take note of that term, current instance. All right, current instance of this class, the current instance. We're going to look more into this. Okay, so whenever I do this.engine, just know that I am referring to the engine property of this class. If I happen to do this.color, know that I am referring to the color property of this class. Okay, so that's what it is. Meanwhile, before doing this.color, I'll have to remove the static. All right, this cannot be static if I mean to use the this keyword on it. So if we run it, you can see that this property is being printed, and then this one as well, all right, is being printed, the v16. So I believe that's, I hope that is clear enough. All right, we'll be going into something different. We'll be going into getters and setters, which is a different concept in that classes. All right, but I would like to, all right, let's go right into it. Getters and setters, also called as accessors and mutators, allow the program to initialize and retrieve the values of class fields respectively. Getters or accessors are defined using the get keyword. Setters or mutators are defined using the set keyword. All right, I know this is a lot, but I think we should end this class here so that in the next video we can focus on this. All right, we can focus on getters and setters and a few other concepts in classes. All right, so see you next time.